Now, a lot of old heads like me don't like this era of X-Men. I'm not one of them. Ever since Jonathan Hickman started this, I've been loving everything that they've been doing. The only thing I don't like is this soft ass Apocalypse. My name is Dorian, this is SCM Comics, and we are continuing our coverage of Fall of X with the Heralds of Apocalypse #1. So the story starts off in Amenth with Apocalypse is kind of sitting there meditating, and he's asked a question. The person goes, "Tell me what strength is." And we see it's this demon-like creature, and he's like, "Please, please, great Apocalypse." And Apocalypse goes, "I don't even know if that should even be my name. My name should be Revelation." And he just goes on this long spiel, really not answering the guy's question, or the demon's question. And then the demon goes, "I want to survive. What is strength?" And the dude just rambles on some more. And then finally the demon just goes, "Thanks for nothing, big man." And then all of a sudden a spear goes to his head. I'm like, finally Apocalypse is being Apocalypse. No, it's his wife. Man, I hope I don't get canceled for saying this, but the person that wears the pants in the family, Genesis. And even she's like, "You shouldn't talk to them, they're beneath you." And all he's worried about is that she reforged the family sword. So they get to talking, and pretty much Apocalypse ain't on what she's trying to do. And he's like, "I can't walk with you." And then she's like, "I never wanted you to walk with me, my gentle one." Who calls Apocalypse gentle? Like, this is nuts. Then she says, "My mage of mercy." Apocalypse? It's not even in the name. The name has no mercy attached to it. So this is sick. But she does say, "You will open the way." Like, she's more Apocalypse than Apocalypse. And that's sad. So then he goes, "But what if I choose not to?" And she doesn't even bat an eyelash. The family sword, I guess, separates into two. She throws on one sword and pretty much tells him, "Well, I'm pretty much just going to beat your ass until you do." God, this girl's gangster. So now we go way back in time to Okara, and we see Apocalypse first presented with the family sword. And on the next page, we see Genesis giving birth to their 4th child. And she's not sweating. She probably didn't even scream. She probably didn't even push. She just told that baby to get out. And that baby said, "You don't got to tell me twice." So they're talking, and they're like, "What are you going to name the child?" She don't even hesitate. She's like, "Death." I'm like, man. So this whole time, Apocalypse, when he was on Earth and he had his 4 horsemen, he pretty much was naming them after his children, because their names is Famine, War, and Pestilence. It's like when Apocalypse was on Earth, he wasn't acting like Apocalypse. He was acting like Genesis. Like, this is crazy to me. And she even asks, like, "So you don't like the names?" And he's like, "No, I like the names. It's just where I come from." He's talking about Egypt. Like, monuments are built on pain, and these kids are made from love. I mean, I guess if you think about it in street terms, do you really need a thug if you're the baddest thug you are ever going to meet? I mean, they would say opposites attract. And then on the next page, we see that Genesis is pretty much stating how she was dreaming of a way to keep fighting, and Annihilation is the actual being that separated the two, why Apocalypse actually had to go back to Earth, and Genesis stayed to fight Annihilation. She might be the reason why Annihilation even showed up in the first place. So now we're in present time, and Genesis is pretty much getting into Apocalypse's ass right now. And Genesis is pretty much stating how when Annihilation came, how she loved the fight, how she loved war. Their kids was raised to love war. I guess Iska is her sister, and that's Iska the Unbeaten. And she pretty much was like, "We won, and that's all that matters." And then there was a point where they had Annihilation on the ropes, and Genesis had like a little psychic meeting with Annihilation. And come to find out, Annihilation wanted to surrender, wanted to end the war. And Genesis pretty much was like, "No, we can't be having that," and then never told Apocalypse about it at all until right now. And this is when I thought we was going to get the old Apocalypse, and for a hot second we were, but then Genesis shut that down real quick. Now I know it seems like Genesis is just a bitch and she's treating Apocalypse real bad, but she does have somewhat of a reason why she wants to come to our dimension and start clapping cheeks. So through some people that they conquered, Genesis finds out that Tarn, the Uncaring, is dead. And she's like, how can this happen? So then they're asking, well, Arakko went there. Is it now attached to Krakoa? And Apocalypse is like, no, they kind of went separate. And they're like, okay, so just like we conquered Amenth, then Krakoa should have conquered the Earth. And Apocalypse is like, no, it's kind of went a little different. And so then they're like, well, our Arakko people, they're still being tested, right? And Apocalypse is like, yes, they're being tested every day. And then his own clan member from Clan Akaba comes and like rats him out. And everyone's like, no, that's not what happened. She shows how Magneto pretty much clapped Tarn the Uncaring's cheeks. And then she also pretty much shows how they're more of a peaceful race now. They're no longer warlike. And this pisses Genesis off. So this is why they're fighting, and she wants Apocalypse to open up the gate. Because she can't be having no soft ass people underneath her. That she ain't having that. Not Genesis. So again, I'm thinking, alright, Apocalypse just grew 2 extra arms, and he pretty much pulls out the swords. Now I got the 4. I'm thinking, yeah, we about to get the real Apocalypse. And then he just throws down the swords. I'm like, come on. And then on top of that, after all that arguing, he opens up the gate. So then we see our demon friend that got stabbed in the head is not dead and is actually with Apocalypse. So now Apocalypse needs to go deal with his old clan and find out why they are working for Orcus.